Hi, I'm Roberta. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making meatballs, but not just any meatballs, Spanish meatballs, albondigas. You can make them with beef and you can also make a beautiful pescatarian version with tuna. In fact, we think they started out with lamb because they probably came into the Spanish repertoire with the Moors, who almost certainly would have made theirs with lamb. If you're a fan of Mexican food, you may know the albondigas soup. In Spain, they're typically served as a tapa with a thick tomato sauce, and I like to make mine smoky with some beautiful smoked pimenton. So the first thing we need to do is get that tomato sauce ready. We've got an onion. We're going to put half in our meatballs and half in our sauce. So I'm just going to chop that up and get it on the stove. Then we'll come back, and while that's cooking, we can make our meatball mixture. I have my onion in here, which I've shredded up finely. In goes my mince, some finely chopped oregano. It doesn't have to be oregano. If you have another favourite herb, you could put parsley or even thyme in here. A little bit of rosemary, not too much. Some fresh breadcrumbs, which you've made just by blitzing some stale bread in a food processor. A good grind of black pepper, as much or as little as you like, and a good pinch of salt. And now, my favourite part, we're going to get in there with our hands and mix this right through. I don't think you're going to get a good mix if you try and do it with a spoon or a spatula, because you really need to squeeze those breadcrumbs and onions through the beef to get a nice pasty mixture. Alright, I think that's about as much of the onion as that's going to take up, so don't worry if you've got a little bit left behind. Now we're just going to make this into 8 meatballs. It's always easy when it's a number like 8 because we go in half and in half again and in half again. The Spanish name albondigas comes from an Arabic term for hazelnut or any small round thing. So these are going to be slightly bigger than a hazelnut, but not much, more like the size of a walnut, I would think. So let's just get some nice round balls, pop them on the plate, and then we'll go and check our sauce. So there we go. After 5 to 10 minutes, our onion's nice and tender. In with our pulper. Now if you're using whole canned tomatoes, you're going to need to cook this down for a little bit longer. We're using this gorgeous mutti pulper, which is already quite thick and reduced. So that's just going to need a minute or so. In with a good pinch of our beautiful pimenton, our smoked paprika. Give that a good stir through, and let's bring that to the boil. So once it comes up to the boil, just turn it down low and just let it simmer for a minute or so, so all those flavours marry. Then we can cover it, set it aside, and get our meatballs ready. Our sauce is ready, so it's time to fry our meatballs. Don't worry if a little bit of the onion falls out. It's going to depend how big your onion is and how finely you chopped it. There's plenty in there for flavour. Dusting it in flour and just flattening it slightly so it cooks a bit easier. There we go, plenty of flour on the outside, just helps to give it a nice colour and crust. I have my olive oil on for shallow frying. Now you can use the oil that you used for the tortilla de patates if you've already made that. Otherwise, just some extra virgin olive oil for shallow frying, and let's go to the stove. Okay, in with our meatballs. That's good. We want a bit of a sizzle, not too much, and we want to do them for 3 minutes or so each side, just until they're well coloured and cooked through. So there we are, after about 3 minutes, nice and golden on one side. Let's flip them over and do the other side. So there we are, another 3 minutes or so on that side. Onto a rack to drain, and they're ready for their smoky sauce. So here we have them, our beautiful little albondigas, our Spanish meatballs. You can put them in a bowl and toss them with the tomato sauce if you like. I kind of like them drizzled. So we'll pile them up there and just drizzle some of our beautiful smoky tomato sauce over the top. Maybe we'll serve the rest alongside for dunking, because everything in Spain is served with bread. So there'll be no excuse for leaving any of that gorgeous sauce. Now I like some finely sliced oregano leaves on the top. That's up to you. Albondigas, Spanish meatballs, could be made with tuna, could be made with beef. Enjoy.